my fellow knights? Welcome back to the Struggle Bus, where today we're going to be trying out Zimone and Dina. But first, if you're returning to the channel, please do consider liking the video, sharing the video, and subscribing, as I really would appreciate you for doing it. If you're new, grab a tasty beverage, kick back, and enjoy the gameplay. Then maybe consider dropping a sub. Zimone and Dina, my friends, is Sultai. You get a 3/4 human dryad. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, target opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. Tap, sacrifice another creature, draw a card. You may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. If you control 8 or more lands, repeat this process once. There's a lot to digest here. I am not gonna lie. I spent over on the Patreon, I record like my deck brewing process and post it on there for my patrons, and like, I'm not gonna lie, typically it's somewhere between 15 to 20 minutes of video. This one was like almost 40 minutes and I still wasn't sure about the deck. So I finally just decided to roll with this, throw it up against the wall and see what sticks, because there are so many different things you can do here with Zimone and Dina, capitalizing on the drain effects, capitalizing on sacrificing creatures, putting lands into play, drawing 2 cards, like so much going on here. So this is what we went with. And it's a little bit of a graveyard synergy. It's really capitalizing around Zimone and Dina being able to sack cards to drain our opponent for value, and then running Goyf, which is a sweet card. So that's why you're gonna see a very creature heavy list here, because we want to fuel this bad boy, right? And so we're going to be sacrificing creatures, putting them in the graveyard after we got some value out of them, and then dropping these 2 drops that are just going to be absolutely ginormous and difficult for our opponent to deal with. Not to mention, it also fuels our graveyard. So that's why you're going to see an increasing amount of 2 drops, and we'll go over it in a moment. Virus Beetle. This actually was the Thopter mechanic, but I realized that it was difficult to get the synergy there, so we decided to go with this because 1, it's an artifact, it dodges Goyf with the throat, and 2, we can get our card's value out of it, playing it, and then immediately sacking it to Zimone and Dina. So nice card here. 2 Tenacious Underdogs, same thing. We don't mind milling them. We could sack them all, etc., etc. 3 Goyf with the throats, because sometimes we just gotta get things dead. 1 Aetherblade Agent as a way to have a defensive threat if we need it. Later in the game, it could draw us cards if we need it, and we're more than happy to sack it to Zimone and Dina as well. It fuels our Goyf. 2 Rona, Herald of Invasion. We're trying this card out. This could be a 3rd one. That's why we're running an Oracle of Tragedy, but I only had 2, so that's why we're running it. But essentially it allows us to loot to get our second card draw for the turn to trigger the drain effect off of Zimone and Dina, as well as Puppeteer. But also the fact that later in the game we could turn it around and flip it, transform it, and get in there for a significant amount of damage and some sweet card advantages you guys will see. And it's also a valuable 2-drop that we'll talk about here in a moment. Oracle of Tragedy. It's kind of just trying out some of the new cards, right? It's our 5th Philogio Archaeologist, or our 3rd Rona, Herald of Invasion. Philogio Archaeologist mills our graveyard, fueling our Goyf, allows us to get back our key removal spells and planeswalkers, and it can be a pretty big blocker, and also great. We got our values worth, and we get to sack it to Zimone and Dina. Aether Channeler allows us to have a spell. We can make 2 creatures off of 1 card. We can bounce something and then sack it, or we can just straight up draw a card if we need to. Tyvar Jubilant Brawler. So this is a card I haven't brewed with yet, and I wanted to include it in this list because it matches the colors, and yes, it synergizes with Zimone, because we can kind of give Zimone haste to trigger her immediately, and we get to untap her to trigger her a second time if we want. The other thing is, it allows us to immediately activate Rona. Those are the only 2 things that really have the tap effects, but I think it's okay because the -2 allows us to get Rona back, get back our Beetle, get back Aetherblade Agent, and more importantly, most importantly, get back our giant Urborg Goyf. And that's why I think this is a pretty decent spot for Tyvar, to be honest with you. Gixian Puppeteer is one of the things I mentioned in my short. This is a great combo with Zimone and Dina, because should Zimone and Dina die, because it is a must-kill threat, when Puppeteer dies, you're able to bring them back. Also, the drain effect also triggers off of drawing your second card. So if you have these both in play, you're draining your opponent for 4, which means it's an 8-point life swing, which is ginormous, even if it only goes off once, right? Diagraph Rebirth to be able to buy back something big that we'll talk about here in a moment, or a Puppeteer, or even Zimone and Dina if we need to, and we don't mind milling it. Vraska seems a little out of place here, just a little bit, because she's not a creature that fuels our Goyf, and we don't really capitalize on the proliferate. But what we do capitalize on is that she is two very important things. She is a second card draw for the turn to trigger Puppeteer and Zimone and Dina, and she is removal. The -2 allows us to kill a threat on our opponent's side of the board. So the fact that she is those two aspects of her make her not an auto occlude, but I think she actually does work fairly well in this list. Finally, our top end, because we are going to hopefully be playing extra lands with Dina and Zimone, we are running one Toxtrol the Corrosive because we have Sultai mana, so we can sack the slugs if we need to. If not, we can also sack them to feed Zimone and Dina, and we can reanimate it. And then finally, Cemetery Desecrators are phenomenal in this list. Comes down, kills something, eats something from their graveyard, then we sack it to Zimone and Dina, gaining us 2 life, draining the opponent, getting something else out of the graveyard, drawing us a card, and killing something else. So I mean, that's pretty busted, am I right? So that's why we're running it. Mana base, pretty straightforward, just running Sultai with a lean towards early Dimir for obvious reasons. But that is the list. There is so much going on here. Yes, with more time, we're going to probably brew a bunch of different ways. We had Slowgurk in here. We had all kinds of stuff. And so this is finally what I'm just like, let's do the struggle so you guys get the ideas and can make the real decks. Shout out for this video goes out to Warspawn Painting. Warspawn, thank you so much, my friend, for riding the struggle bus with us. Really do appreciate you. And I'll let you know how my Imperial Knights go when they're done. But I hope you enjoy the gameplay, man, because this Sultai Zimone and Dina list is for you, my friend. Before I forget, I didn't realize my mic was off, and I already just spent the hour recording stuff, so sorry, there's no gameplay thought process commentary, so my bad, guys. I will be more vigilant about it in the future. Sorry, I hope you're still okay watching it. It's a fun deck. All right, bye.
This little candle's gonna set your world on fire. Give a toast? I'd love to. You wanna dance? Then let's dance! Woohoo! Watch me heat up the dance floor! You're lucky this is a warning shot. Ugh. Next time, I'll wear more comfortable shoes. This war ends today. There's still hope. To a crisp should be enough.
talk about this fight for centuries. Share in my glory. Next time you have to. Let's see what this hex gold can do. Take my hand. Ah, finally! A real fight. I won't let you fall.